Hi, good evening, students. How are you all? Hope you're all good. Yeah, so shall we start our class? Yes. So today, we have a play, as you can see, titled Macbeth. So it is one of the most revolutionary plays written by the legendary writer Shakespeare, William Shakespeare. So are you ready? Yes. So in today's class, we are going to explore the theme of guilt in the play Macbeth. Okay, yeah. So, first of all, about the author, Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, about his life. William Shakespeare, often hailed as the greatest playwright, profoundly shaped literature. His works explore timeless themes of human experience, revealing intricate emotions and moral dilemmas. Shakespeare's influence on drama, particularly in tragedy, is unparalleled with a legacy that endures to this day. So Shakespeare he is called as the Bard of Avon, and he is the legendary writer, and he is hailed as the greatest playwright who profoundly shaped the literature. Okay, and his works explore timeless themes of human experience, revealing intricate emotions, moral dilemmas, and Shakespeare is famous for his tragedies. Okay, so now we are going to explore the theme of guilt, how Shakespeare treated the theme of guilt in the play Macbeth. Okay, yeah. So before that, coming to the some other major works of Shakespeare. His works and influences for writing this particular play, Macbeth. First one is Hamlet, is a very famous tragedy, a tragic exploration of revenge, madness, and moral dilemmas, showcasing deep human emotions and conflicts. It is one of his longest plays. Yeah, it is the longest play of Shakespeare. And next one is Romeo and Juliet. It is a timeless tale of love and fate, illustrating the tragic consequences of familial feuds and youthful passion. And next one is Othello. Othello is a profound exploration of jealousy and betrayal, highlighting the destructive power of manipulation and misplaced trust. And next one is also a very famous play, King Lear. King Lear is a tragic narrative of power, betrayal, and familial discord, illustrating the complexities of human nature and madness. Finally, here we have Macbeth. And Macbeth is a dark tale of ambition and guilt, exploring the psychological torment that arises from unchecked ambition and moral decay. Okay, so yeah, coming into Macbeth. The importance of Macbeth, the play Macbeth. Why is it important? Why it is considered as one of the greatest works of Shakespeare? Macbeth is the cornerstone of English literature, showcasing Shakespeare's mastery in portraying guilt and ambition. Yeah. So, in treating this particular theme, guilt and especially ambition, so this particular play, Macbeth, showcases Shakespeare's mastery in both these themes, guilt and ambition. And its intricate exploration of the human psyche and moral dilemmas resonates with audience, making it a viral study in understanding the consequences of unchecked ambition. So we can have a look at how Shakespeare treats this theme of guilt and ambition in this play. Okay, so in this session, so next one is yeah, what is the historical context of the play, Macbeth? Macbeth, which is written around 1606 during the Jacobean period, reflects the political tensions of the time. And this tragedy explores themes of ambition and guilt against the backdrop of Scotland's feudal landscape, intertwining the supernatural with psychological drama, captivating audiences across the centuries. So it is written during the period Jacobean period, around 1606, and this tragedy explores the theme of ambition and guilt against a backdrop of Scotland's feudal landscape. Okay, and it also consists of supernatural elements. So Shakespeare is very much famous for his treatment of supernatural elements in many of his tragedies. And here also in this work, Macbeth also, there are we can see many supernatural elements. Yeah, we can say that it is full of it's the play that has the theme gothic elements. The supernatural creatures or supernatural treatment of the supernatural elements in literary work is called as Gothic literature. And this Macbeth is can be considered as a Gothic play. Okay, then coming to the key themes, other than this guilt and ambition, what are the key themes in this play? The play Macbeth intertwines the themes of ambition, power, guilt, and fate, exploring how unchecked ambition can lead to moral decay. These elements resonate throughout the narrative, showcasing the profound psychological consequences faced by the characters in their tragic journey. Okay, so other than this guilt, we can see the themes of ambition, power, and fate in this play, and exploring how unchecked ambition can lead to moral decay. That is the main one of the central theme, other than this guilt in this play. And these elements resonate throughout the narrative, showcasing the profound psychological consequences faced by each and every character in this play. Okay, so yeah, I think it's clear. Um, then beginning and prophecy. Beginning of the play. In the opening of Macbeth, the titular character, that is the Macbeth, the hero of the play, and Banquo encounter three mysterious witches on a Scotland heath, and they deliver prophecies that ignite Macbeth's ambition, foretelling his rise to power escape. This pivotal moment sets the tragic events in motion. Okay, this prophecy made by these three witches act as the turning point of this play. Okay, from this point, this pivotal moment sets the rest of the tragic events in the motion or in the play. Okay, so that is how the play begins. Then, yeah, Macbeth's rise to power. Macbeth's ambition leads him down a dark path, spurred by the witch's prophecy, driven by desire. He commits a regicide by murdering King Duncan, igniting a chain of deceit and betrayal that ultimately consumes him and Lady Macbeth in their guilt. Okay, so how he rises to power. Macbeth's ambition, his vaulting ambition, leads him down a dark path spurred by the witch's prophecy. So this witches made this prophecy that he will become the king of Scotland, and driven by this prophecy and desire, this hardcore desire, he commits regicide. Regicide meaning the killing of the king, and he murdered King Duncan, and this ignites a chain of deceit and betrayal that ultimately consumes him and also the Lady Macbeth, his wife, in their guilt. Okay, then yeah, guilt and madness. Yeah, coming to the main theme, main two themes in the play, guilt and madness. In this pivotal moment of Macbeth, the protagonist's guilt manifests through haunting visions, such as the iconic hallucination of a dagger. This symbolizes his moral disintegration, illustrating how guilt transforms ambition into madness and ultimately leads to his downfall. So, in this pivotal moment of Macbeth, the protagonist, that is Macbeth's guilt, manifests through haunting visions. He just had various kinds of haunting visions, such as the iconic hallucination of the dagger. He can always see a dagger that is moving in front of his eyes. And this symbolizes his moral disintegration, his trauma, that trauma, and his guilt, illustrating how this guilt transforms ambition into madness. He became mad, and ultimately, this leads to his entire downfall. Okay, then psychological impact of this guilt. And the theme of guilt in Macbeth profoundly affects both the characters and the audience. Macbeth's constant internal struggle and haunting visions illustrate how guilt can lead to psychological torment, ultimately driving him towards madness and tragic consequences. So the theme of guilt in Macbeth deeply affects both the characters, this Lady Macbeth and Macbeth, and also it will affect the audience. It will be affected by the audience. And Macbeth's constant internal struggle and haunting visions illustrate how guilt can lead to psychological torment, that great trauma, and ultimately driving him towards this madness. Okay, and the rest of the tragic consequences. Okay, then yeah, Lady Macbeth's guilt. We can see this guilt in the later phase after the murder in Lady Macbeth's the character of Lady Macbeth also. Lady Macbeth's sleepwalking scene, one of the most important scenes in this play, sleepwalking scene of Lady Macbeth, vividly illustrates her psychological unraveling. As she compulsively attempts to wash away imagined bloodstains, her actions reveal deep-seated remorse and torment over her role in the violent acts, underscoring the destructive power of guilt. So here we can see that a very famous quote said by this Lady Macbeth, all the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten my little hands. So as she compulsively attempts to wash away imagined bloodstains, she can always see bloodstains on her hands, and she compulsively attempts to wash away this imagined bloodstains. Her actions reveal deep-seated remorse. These actions of her reveal deep-seated remorse and treatment over her role in the violent acts, underscoring the destructive power of guilt. Okay, so this is one of the very heart-wrenching scenes, horrific scenes in the play, sleepwalking scene by Lady Macbeth, of Lady Macbeth. Okay, then yeah, coming to the overall summary of the play, Macbeth. Yeah, Macbeth is it's a dark, relentless tale of a good and brave Scottish general who, encouraged by the dark prophecies of three evil witches and by his own wife, murders Duncan, the King of Scotland. Macbeth then becomes king and brings about his own destruction. That is the short summary of the whole play. And Shakespeare wrote this particular play, for James the First, the then king of England, England's new king, who had been king of Scotland. To please James, Shakespeare set the play in Scotland, used many characters who were James' ancestors, and include witches, a subject that James had written about. And the play is Shakespeare's shortest tragedy, probably because King James often fell asleep during performances. Okay, so that's about the background of the play. Then Shakespeare's source, the which all sources that Shakespeare used as a background for writing this particular play, Macbeth. Shakespeare's source for the story of Macbeth was the history and chronicles of Scotland. That is called as the Holinshed Chronicle. It's very famous. Holinshed Chronicles is the original source of this play Macbeth, and it is written by Hector Bose, a Scottish historian and humanist. And many scholars question the factual reliability of Bose's work and point out that Shakespeare took liberties with Macbeth's history for dramatic purposes. And then, yeah, then the historical background of Macbeth, the play Macbeth in detail. The King of England in 1606 was James the First, a Stuart. There was no Tudor successor to the throne of England. Therefore, Elizabeth first chose James the sixth of Scotland to succeed her. After her death in 1603, James the Sixth of Scotland became James First of England. And Elizabeth first had been instrumental in the death of her cousin, Mary, Queen of Scots, who has beheaded. And on her deathbed, Elizabeth wanted to ease her way into heaven, so she chose Mary's son James to become the next king of England. And the appointment of James first was a good political move, unifying England and Scotland under one king. And yeah, this is the political background of the play. And Macbeth as a tribute to King James I. So Shakespeare wrote Macbeth in 1606 during King James' reign. King James was a devout advocate of the divine rights of king, and the setting is Scotland. The setting of the play is in Scotland and King James' homeland, that is the homeland of King James. And Banquo was an ancestor of James and is shown in the play to be a virtuous person. So Banquo, one of the characters in the play, Banquo, and he is a man of quality. He's a virtuous. He's portrayed as a virtuous person in this play. And James believed himself to be an expert on witchcraft. So that's why he treated the supernatural elements, including this witch, the witchcraft, and all the witches. The three witches play a great role in this, the turning point of this play. And James had an interest in faith healing. Then yeah, Macbeth an appeal to Elizabethan people's interests. So Elizabethan period. So Shakespeare lived during the Elizabethan period, the queen of the period during the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. And Shakespeare demonstrated the Elizabethan belief that the country is stable only if the king is good and virtuous. Elizabethans believe that evil occurs in darkness, which is the recurring theme in Macbeth. And Shakespeare included a lot of blood and murder, which the Elizabethan expected to see in a play. So all the Elizabethan audience actually liked the treatment of these themes in their play: this blood, murder, the treating of the supernatural elements, all that. And the play was considered a thriller, a threat to an anointed king and the perceived evil behind the threat. Okay, so yeah, coming to the setting of the play, King Duncan is the king of Scotland. Edward the Confessor is the king of England. The time period is the 11th century, and Shakespeare used poetic license to bend some of the historical information. Then, yeah, Macbeth, the curse. Yeah, the Scottish play. It is believed to be bad luck to even speak the word Macbeth in a theater, because Macbeth is considered as a dark character. And legend has you will lose all your friends involved in the production horribly. That is, yeah. Yeah, coming to the introduction of Macbeth. Macbeth is another one of Shakespeare's great tragedies based on Holinshed's Chronicle of England, Scotland, and Ireland. That is the original source of the play. It was written around 1605, but was not published in the first folio until 1623. It tells about the fall of the ambitious couple, Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. And Macbeth is a tragic hero, a character who has a fatal tragic flaw. With a tragic flaw means a kind of a downfall in the Butcher's character, Butcher's nature of the main character, the protagonist, within himself, that he cannot change. And he is not a bad person. He is just too ambitious. Macbeth is a story about the murder of a king by his cousin, the revenge of his son, Malcolm, three witches who plot against Macbeth, and Macbeth's rise and fall. Okay, that is all about the introduction. Then the plot overview of the play. So Macbeth is an interesting character to follow. As you read, you can see how, as you read the play, you can see how he has changed. We first meet Macbeth as a brave soldier and later as a general of the Scotland, and later find him as a murderer who kills everyone who is in his way of the throne. And Lady Macbeth is also a well-developed character. She is conniving and reckless, though she does seem to have some humane qualities. And yeah, the play opens in Scotland. Macbeth and Banquo have defeated their enemies in battle, leading King Duncan to give the title of Thane of Cawdor to Macbeth, who doesn't know this yet. And next, Macbeth and Banquo encounter three chanting witches. The witches speak to Macbeth as Thane of Glamis, Thane of Cawdor, and King hereafter. So they made three prophecies by simply seeing him and Banquo. They also tell Banquo that though he will not be king, he will beget kings. His sons will be kings. That was another prophecy made by those three witches. And Macbeth wonders about this prediction as the king's messenger arrives. He tells him that he has been appointed Thane of Cawdor. So he got shocked. Yeah, one prophecy became true. Macbeth was momentarily tempted to kill the king in order to fulfill the prophecy, but he decided not to. Then Lady Macbeth, however, urges her husband to kill the king. And since the king is staying at their castle overnight, that must be when they kill him. She plans the whole thing, making the king's guards drunk by using their daggers to kill the king and putting the king's blood on them. She smeared all the blood over their faces. Lady Macbeth will frame the guards. And it is now time for Macbeth to stab the king. And though he has bad visions and feelings, Macbeth kills the king. Afterwards, he is troubled. I'm afraid to think what I have done. Look on, it gained, I dare not, he says. So this is what happened.